Alrighty, happy Sunday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Anthony Carpino. Quick update from the home office. We're gonna let you guys know what we can expect as we go through the rest of this afternoon, going through this evening. Let me know if you guys have any questions at all. We'll be able to answer some of that for you. Make sure to follow along on Facebook, YouTube, all the social media pages. We'll talk more about that snow that's going to continue on through the rest of tonight. We do have that winter weather advisory that is now for all of Connecticut, and that advisory has actually been extended a little bit. When we were talking to you guys last night and this morning, um, it was only through this evening, but now that advisory has been expanded a little bit through early Monday morning. So we'll talk about some of the differences that we've seen so far today, and of course, we'll talk a little bit more about what we can expect with all that snow that's going to be on the way for. So let's go through what we can expect for the next several hours. So, of course, for some of us today, we woke up with it snowing a little bit, some light snow at times, not a whole lot today, and that was expected. We were talking about how the first half of the day would be, relatively light snow, not too much there. But as we go through the rest of this afternoon and going through this evening, we'll notice the chance for snow starting to go up a little bit more. I think it becomes a little bit more widespread, so the snow will start to fill in a little bit more. Still expecting 3 to 5 inches for especially eastern Connecticut. We'll have to see how much the western half of the state gets here, but 1 to 3 inches likely for western, northwestern sections of the state. And of course, as we go through tonight, that will make things a little bit slippery, of course. Now, what's interesting is when we looked at some of the snowfall totals that we got yesterday, places like Litchfield, moving into Norfolk, the northwestern, wrapping around to northern Connecticut as well. We had some snowfall reports yesterday, 6 inches, and maybe an isolated spot that got more than that. I think some of those totals might win out what we're expecting later on tonight. And if you are in northwestern Connecticut, you're not expected to get another 6 inches like what you saw yesterday. It's going to be the eastern half of the state that's expecting, just a little bit more in the way of snowfall there. So we'll keep an eye on the radar. We can see where everything is kind of centered right now. So the heaviest of that snow you can see there, North Carolina, excuse me, the rain rather in North Carolina, and all of this is going to be working its way up the eastern coast there. So we take a look here. Try to move this around. There we go. All right, so you can see New England. We got a little bit of snow going on right now, but more or less Connecticut is kind of in um, that in between spot. We're in a little bit of a lull right now. We've seen a few little flurries here and there, a few light snow showers, nothing too crazy. You look just south of Long Island, though, and they've had a good little snow band there, kind of just setting up shop, but warmer air not too far away for us. Let's go through the radar a little bit there, actually. While we're here, take a look in northwestern Connecticut there. So a few little snow showers at times. Nothing too crazy is what we've seen so far. And same thing in southeastern parts of the state there. So it looks like we got a couple questions starting to come in. I'm plowing for the DOT out of Danbury. What time will I be done? We started at 3:45 this morning. That is early. So thanks so much for keeping the roads clear there, Tim. We're going to notice that snow starting to fill in for us as we go through the next couple of hours. So I would just say closer to 4 or 6 o'clock tonight, we'll start to see everything. Bring that back a little bit. So we'll start to notice everything filling back in a little bit more. So there you go. 5 o'clock, we're starting to see that snow take over a little bit more. Notice those areas of darker blue there, especially as we move past about 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. So a burst of heavier snow showers at times there. And then most of this is starting to wrap up by 10 o'clock tonight. And then we could still have just a few little tiny snow showers waking up on Monday morning. So the bulk of this expected to be between, I would say, about 4 o'clock to 9 p.m. We'll start to notice things pick up a little bit more. And then eventually starting to clear things out during that overnight period. But again, waking up Monday morning, I wouldn't be surprised if we had, a few little snow showers at times, or a few little uh, flurries or snow showers. And then while we're continue to clear things out for Monday. So any plans for Monday, if you have the day off for Martin Luther King Day, it's looking to be pretty great. If you're trying to get some skiing in, um, get to some of the slopes, we're going to show you some live cameras here in a second. We'll be in much better shape there. Um, we'll talk about. So I'm seeing some questions here on the side. Um, some questions here too. Any more for the Wallingford area, or are we done? No, so we're not done yet. We got more snow that's going to be on the way for us. So as we go through this evening, we'll start to see everything start to fill back in just a little bit more there. So that's what we can expect, at least in the short term. So what does that mean? I'll get to the snowfall rate in a second, but I think this is the map that everyone wants to see. So I went back to the 1 to 3 inches for Western Connecticut there, and the 3 to 5. For the eastern half of the state. This does include the I-91 corridor up through the Hartford area. Temperatures, though, guys, are going to be really key for us. So I know that the purple goes right along the immediate shoreline there. But if you're like right at 95, or you're south of 95, so you're right one of those towns right on the water, that might be tough to get to 3 inches. Not impossible, but you guys would likely be on the lower end of that spectrum. So if you're right along 95, I would say closer to 3 inches, possibly a little bit less. But I'm really thinking though that if you are in um, eastern and northeastern areas of the state, maybe even for portions of New London County, I think that will be your best chance at trying to see more than 4 inches of snow. The Hartford area, probably closer to that 3 or 4 inch mark as well. And then you get further west. So places like Litchfield, going through Torrington, up through Salisbury. You guys are going to notice just a little bit less there. So that's kind of what we can expect as far as breaking down those snow totals a little bit. We did notice some model changes during that overnight period. So there was a quick burst. Models were thinking, okay, maybe this is going to shift a little bit further to the west. So it bumped up the snow totals a little bit more. But now everything is just slid back in the other direction for us. So going back to that 1 to 3 inches for the far western half of Connecticut there, 3 to 5, though, still, I would say a good majority of the state. So just kind of keep that in mind. Not, outrageous snowfall totals for us, nothing that we can't handle, just a little bit more for the eastern half of the state. So a little flip flop from what we saw yesterday. Seeing some other questions. Naugatuck Valley area. John wants to know about that part. I think you guys are going to be closer to the line there, but John, my gut is telling me this is going to be closer to the lower side of that for you guys. 3 inches, maybe even like 2 or 3 inches for you guys there. New Britain, I think you guys are closer to 3, maybe up to 4 inches, but temperatures are going to be um, pretty important for us as we go through tonight. So that's also going to be something that we'll have to watch. Um, this is a good point, Dylan. Is a 3 to 5, including this morning. So yeah, that was kind of our thought for the whole day, kind of in general. Let me go back to this other graphic. I want to show you guys snowfall rates. This is what can really help us with adding into those snow totals there. So let's play this out a little bit. If you guys remember, the day after Christmas, we had that snowstorm that moved in, and we saw snowfall rates during that storm of 3 and even 4 inches per hour. That was a lot of snow to come down in a short period of time, and that's why we saw a huge spike in snowfall totals during that event. For this storm, it's not going to be coming down as strong, so it may not add up as quickly. So really, we're only talking about snowfall rates, I think at the most, 1 inch per hour. So that is good news for the snow truck drivers out there, for the plow drivers trying to clear those roads. We're not talking about heavy snow to come down and just constantly coat the roads up, but an inch an hour is still a pretty decent rate. So we'll keep an eye on that, especially getting closer to 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and then things will start to relax, if you will. They'll start to wither down a little bit as we head through the overnight period there. So kind of keep that in mind a little bit going through tonight if you have to travel. If you're out at a friend's place, I wanted to get this update in. I know I got 2 minutes left, but I wanted to get this update in before the Patriots game, because I know everyone's going to be glued to the screen there, at least for all the New England fans. So if you're coming back, if you're leaving your friend's house after the game, just make sure you're taking it a little bit slower because we'll likely see the snow coming down at that point already. Luckily, the game's not going to go, late through tonight. But just kind of keep that in mind. The roads could be a little bit slick even after the game. So even after, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. So just keep that in mind with the snow that's going to be coming down. What about for Tolland? Tolland, I think you guys are closer to that 4-inch mark. You guys are a little bit cooler. I want to talk temperatures a little bit for us as well. But before I get to those temperatures, let's have a look outside. Let's see. I believe this is going to be, yeah, ski sundown. So the slopes are very busy. It's a great day to get to the ski resorts there. Of course, we got all the other resorts in Connecticut there. We jump outside to Bridgeport, where you can see the docks there covered in a little bit of snow and some snow off onto the other side there as well. Temperatures, this is important for us. So right now, Hartford, Middletown, Meriden, Chester, New Haven, there's a bunch of towns that are already above freezing. So we're going to have to try to cool our way back down a little bit more, at least if we want some accumulating snow. Of course, it can be snowing when it's in the 30s, but how much does it actually stick? So um, that's going to be important for us as we go through tonight. I have to drive to from East Lyme to New Haven and back. Do you think I'll beat the storm? You'll probably end up seeing some lighter snow showers there, but if you're doing that right now, I think you're going to be okay. If you can be back home by 6 or 7 p.m. tonight, I think you'll be in okay shape there. Just, of course, when it's snowing out, when things are covering the roads a little bit, just go a little bit slower, especially if you're on 95. Um, any chance my flight getting into Bradley at 9:30 tonight? Because we're not seeing very heavy snowfall rates, if you're flying into Bradley, I don't think you're gonna have too many problems, but of course, you always wanna make sure you're keeping updated with your airline because we know flying, whenever there's weather, um, there's always something. There's always some delay, something like that. So just keep an eye on your airline. But as far as conditions at Bradley go, I don't think it will be too awful for them to, keep up with the snow. So that's good news for folks that are flying either in or out as we head through tonight. Temperature wise, as we go through this evening, we're going to be right back down to the 20s. A few snow showers will linger by the time we are waking up tomorrow morning. Not for everyone, and the snow showers that are left over by the morning should be relatively light. Then for Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, how about this? Mostly sunny skies at times. Temperature wise into the upper 20s, lower 30s. So the snow that we get tonight will stay on the ground for us. So any ski plans tomorrow will be in much um, better shape there, but it will get colder. And we're going to notice a big drop in temperature as we go through not Monday, not tomorrow, but on Tuesday. Take a look at those temperatures there 22 degrees. We jump back to the 30s by the middle toward the end of this week. And then we're right back down to the 20s by next weekend. And as we move into portions of next week. So another blast of cold air will move in behind this system. And that could definitely that could definitely be a big blast of January air force. Take a look at this. Morning temperatures Wednesday, single digits there at 6, 29 degrees on Wednesday. Again, we're back to the 30s Thursday with a few more snow chances Thursday and maybe even next weekend as well. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. I'm going to go through the 10-day forecast a little bit more when I get to the station today. So I'll be making a few updates here, but the overall trend moving in the next week is cooler temperatures. And then even the week after, take a look at Monday of next week. 19 degrees for the high. Morning temperatures are in the morning temperatures there in the single digits, and a pretty similar forecast right now for the shoreline there. Even this week, morning temperatures 20s and teens. So we're going to keep a close eye on the snow as we go through the rest of tonight. I do have to get going, guys. I know the Patriots game is also getting started too, but I'm going to head to the office here in a little bit and go through the 10-day forecast a little bit more. Take a look at any afternoon runs. But the storm is going to be moving in pretty soon. So just make sure those shovels are ready. And of course, guys, if you're able to, we'd love to see your snow pictures and also send us snow reports too. I'd love to know what you guys are seeing out there. We only have a few observation sites, scattered around. So you guys are such a big help. And we always appreciate when you guys send in snowfall reports, as well as photos, videos. You can, of course, send that right to, you can email them to us, share it at nbcconnecticut.com. You can scan the QR code there on the screen. Or if you just tag us in those pictures, if you reply to this live feed later on, you can do it that way as well. We'd love to see your photos, and then I can use them later on tonight at 6, as well as 11 o'clock tonight. Because NBC is covering the football game tonight, the news on NBC Connecticut will be on our streaming channels. So you can watch another update at 6 o'clock wherever you stream NBC Connecticut. And then we're back on the air later on tonight at 11 o'clock. So we'll keep you guys updated as we go through this evening as the snow continues to move back into the state. So just to recap it, 3 to 5 inches for much of the state. However, if you're in Western Connecticut, still thinking a little bit less than that, 1 to 3 inches for you guys there. Snow will be heaviest as we move past about 5 o'clock tonight, and then continuing through 9, and then slowly tapering off during that overnight period. But we'll have much more on the forecast coming up tonight at 6, again on the NBC Connecticut streaming channel. And then you can watch us live on the air at 11 o'clock. Thanks so much for watching this update, everyone. I'm going to try to go back and answer a few more questions that I may have missed, and I'll make sure to answer those for you guys. Any other questions that you guys have, feel free to shoot me a message on either Facebook, Instagram, all the social media places. Love to answer some of those questions for you guys. Have a great Sunday. See you guys later.